This image shows the 1961 Soviet Union, USSR, 10 Kopeek coin, a coin that is not just made of metal, but tells the story of a great empire's political power, ideology, and the everyday life of its people. Like if you have ever found an old coin in your drawer, because what you hold isn't it just metal? It's a whisper from another time. Today's story begins in the heart of the Soviet Union, in the year 1961, when the world was divided by two superpowers, the USA and the USSR. This is the story of the 10 Kopeek coin, 10 Kopeek, a small silver-colored coin that carried the weight of an empire. In early 1961, the Soviet government, led by Nikita Khrushchev, announced a complete monetary reform. The ruble, which had long been inflated after World War II, was being revalued. 10 old rubles were now equal to 1 new ruble. To match the new currency system, new coins were introduced, among them the 10 Kopeek. The Moscow Mint, Монетный двор Москвы, and Leningrad Mint, Leningradsky Monetный двор, were the two main mints responsible for its production. The coin was made of an alloy of copper and nickel, giving it a bright silver shine that symbolized a modern socialist economy. On the front side, obverse, the number 10 is boldly engraved, representing 10 kopeeks, a subunit of the ruble. Below it, the word Kopeek, Kopeek, is written in Cyrillic script, and underneath, the year 1961. On both sides of the number, 2 wheat ears rise gracefully, a symbol of Soviet agriculture, unity, and prosperity. These ears of wheat weren't mere decoration. They were a tribute to the hard-working peasants, the farmers who, according to the Soviet ideal, were the backbone of the socialist state. The design was meant to show the dignity of labor and the equal importance of every citizen in building the nation. The reverse side carried the state emblem of the USSR, the hammer and sickle, resting upon a globe, surrounded by sheaves of wheat tied with ribbons, and at the top a 5-pointed star shining above. This emblem was the soul of the Soviet ideology, symbolizing the unity of workers, hammer, and peasants, sickle, across all Soviet republics under one red star of communism. The design was created under the guidance of Soviet engravers from the Leningrad Mint, possibly by artists influenced by the great engraver I. L. Shagalov, who was known for his work on state emblems and commemorative coins. The introduction of the 10 Kopeek coin in 1961 wasn't just economic, it was political. Khrushchev's government wanted to project the Soviet Union as modern, strong, and stable. The reform aimed to simplify prices and restore trust in the ruble, which had suffered from war and inflation. Each coin was a message that the USSR was entering a new age of progress. When people held the 10 Kopeek coin, they were holding proof that their economy was reborn, their nation strong, and their ideology firm. In the 1960s, the Soviet ruble wasn't freely exchangeable internationally, but the 10 Kopeek became a symbolic souvenir among diplomats, traders, and travelers. Collectors from Europe and Asia began to notice its clean design and historical value. Even today, this coin represents an era of Cold War mystery, when every metal piece carried silent stories of factories, workers, and propaganda posters shouting, "Glory to the working people." As of today, the 1961 10 Kopeek coin can fetch anywhere between $2 to $50 USD depending on condition. However, special mint condition or proof versions, especially those with rare mint marks or slight die variations, can go for hundreds of dollars in collector auctions. In some international numismatic auctions, especially in Germany and Russia, a high-grade coin has been known to reach over $1 million, particularly if it has unique minting errors. So yes, that small silver piece from your drawer might just be worth more than you think. But beyond its monetary value, it carries something priceless: history, ideology, and the human spirit of a vanished superpower. The life of the coin, in the hands of millions. From the early 1960s to the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the 10 Kopeek coin became one of the most common and widely circulated coins in the USSR. It was everywhere, in the hands of factory workers, students, soldiers, and farmers. With 10 kopeeks, you could buy a small glass of kvass, a traditional Russian drink, or a tram ticket in Moscow. Children would often save these coins in little boxes, dreaming of buying candy or toys. To them, the coin was not political, it was personal. But every coin still carried the hammer and sickle, silently reminding people of the system they lived in. The Soviet government wanted people to trust their money, and through coins like this, they wanted to create a sense of national pride. Each coin was like a miniature piece of propaganda, durable, metallic, and unchanging, unlike fragile paper notes that could tear or burn. In the vast Soviet propaganda network, posters, radio, education, the 10 Kopeek played a quiet role. It was the everyday ambassador of communism. It circulated through 15 republics, from the icy streets of Moscow to the warm cities of Tashkent and Baku. The same design, the same ideals, the same dream of equality. Imagine this small coin passing through time. It witnessed the Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962, when the world stood on the brink of nuclear war. It heard the voices of the space race, when Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space. It lay in the pockets of people during the Brezhnev era through economic stagnation, pride, and fear. And even as the Soviet flag was lowered in 1991, the 10 Kopeek still jingled in the pockets of citizens, an echo of a nation that had just vanished. After the USSR broke apart, the ruble and its subunits, including the 10 Kopeek, were replaced by the new currencies of independent states, the Russian ruble, Ukrainian hryvnia, and others. Old Soviet coins were withdrawn from circulation. For many, this small coin became a souvenir of identity, a reminder of youth, labor, and the idea of equality that had faded away. In Russia, collectors began to treasure these coins as tokens of nostalgia, physical pieces of history that could still be held, touched, and remembered. Most 10 Kopeek coins of 1961 were produced in enormous numbers, millions upon millions. But some rare mint varieties are known to exist, such as thicker lettering or smaller digits in the year, slight misalignment of the wheat stalks or hammer emblem, double strike errors where the image appears twice faintly. Collectors call these mint anomalies, and they can multiply the coin's value several times. An uncirculated MS-65 graded coin can fetch $3,001 lakh. Museum-quality examples with certified mint errors may even reach $2 lakh or $5 lakh in specialized auctions. But the real value for many isn't money. It's memory. The 10 Kopeek coin holds emotional meaning for those who lived through Soviet times. It reminds them of childhood school canteens, long queues for bread, propaganda parades, and red flags waving under the winter sun. It's a relic of a vanished ideology, a system that promised heaven on earth, but often gave hardship and sacrifice instead. When collectors around the world hold this small coin, they aren't just holding metal. They are holding the heartbeat of 20th century history. In the international numismatic market, the 1961 10 Kopeek is categorized as a historical Soviet transitional coin. Depending on condition, worn common coins sell for $210 USD. Well-preserved coins range from $5,200 USD. Rare mint variants or proof strikes may exceed $1 million. On online platforms like eBay, Etsy, and Russian collector sites, these coins are frequently traded, often as sets, representing the entire 1961 Soviet coin series, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 Kopeeks, and 1 ruble. Collectors from Germany, USA, Japan, and UK have shown great interest in Soviet-era pieces, calling them metallic memories of a fallen empire. So next time you hold a 10 Kopeek coin from 1961, close your eyes for a second. You might hear the echo of distant factory sirens, the marching footsteps of Soviet parades, and the hum of a time when ideology ruled stronger than profit. This coin isn't just worth dollars or rubles. It's worth stories, memories, and a glimpse into humanity's eternal desire for progress.